Thank you so much, Pyra. That was, I don't even know. I don't want to say roller coaster. I don't want to say a banger. I don't even have the words to describe what that game was. But we're going to try and break it down regardless. And RMC, we're going to be starting off with the draft specifically because looking at the draft and looking at how Maryville played it early on, we genuinely thought that they were going to be walking away with it.
Yeah, we did. And honestly, the draft from MU looked really, really good, especially, as the game played on. But 100 Thieves Knicks reminds me of a team that we saw back in spring. Some of you might remember them. They went by the name of Dare Gaming. And, Sneezes, when we brought you on here, it was so that you wouldn't go around coaching teams to go 40 minutes and play Jinx Lulu. And unfortunately, even with you on the desk, we still have that again.
Yeah, I guess it's just a curse. We're not trying to ever go down 8k gold in the early game and then just carry on Jinx. But yeah, I was definitely having flashbacks during that game. It's way more stressful to watch it as a coach than on the desk. But, Lens played the last team fights really well. Lens got the scale. They did a good job, putting gold on their carries, the limited gold that they had. And, Untiltable just really, it was kind of that discipline that we talked about that was more of a hallmark of Maryville game one. 100X just said, hey, we're in a bad position, but Nexus didn't blow up yet. Let's keep fighting.
Sure. And
they still had a gold deficit.
Yeah, just what's going on? But let's have a look at the replay specifically. RMC, the one where we genuinely thought that, Maryville University, they had the win. They had the grasp on the game. They knew how to play their comp, and that was around the Baron specifically.
Yeah, the first Baron, I feel like. And this, from the side of 100 Thieves Knicks, they successfully pushed off Maryville, and for a second it looked like, okay, they might be able to actually turn the tides at this point. The gold gap wasn't that big. I believe it was only about 4,000 at this point here. But Maryville, we talk about discipline, and I think even here in game 2, they had it. They recognized that, hey, 100 Thieves Knicks don't have the damage. Let's play this slow, bring everybody back in here, let them tank that damage, stack the Baron debuff, and then when they do go in there, great engage from APA. And once again, Zyko and Azog have just been popping off today. Yes, they ultimately lose the game, but look at the way they played out this fight, right? Azog just skating around untouched, zapping everybody here and hunting everyone down. And this was why we thought this should have been a shoe-in. It should have been the 2-0 from Maryville.
Yeah, that's, I think, what we all expected to see, but then we're going further into the game, and as you mentioned it yourself, Sneezes, 100X, they're really good at putting the gold into their carries. They really had the Vlad and the Jinx just scale it out for as long as possible, and then you get into a position where you can't really deal with them anymore. And it was really highlighted on the next replay that we're going to be looking at, that was around the Drake fight, so walk us through it.
Yeah, I think Vlad was really disruptive. Jinx really needs space, right? The biggest thing with this comp that makes Lulu so valuable is Jinx has good range. Jinx gets a lot of movement speed from Lulu and from a reset. So you get one kill, the Vlad's disruptive, and you just snowball downhill, right? Also, the Viego snowball rolls downhill really fast in this comp too. So, Vlad coming in here just disrupting everyone. You get one reset. Now you can start chasing. Darkwings has the confidence to go over the wall into 3 people, just as, we know we're going to win from this angle. Jinx free hitting over the wall. It's, I was having flashbacks. It was really well done. Playing for the resets on your 2 reset champs. And Sniper just had a really, really great game, kind of rope-a-doping and playing to scale as much as possible and then having big impact in team fights.
Yeah, and I just want to tag on that. This is the first big team fight that 100 Thieves Knicks wins. And this is why that Viego pick is really so prominent right now in the amateur scene, right? The fact that you're down so much gold, you're so far behind. Viego gets one reset and all your gold belongs to him all of a sudden, right? Suddenly 100 Thieves Knicks gets those carries that Maryville had. And in that specific instance, you saw Fnatic just popping off on the backline. Of course, as it went on, it shifted more and more towards the Jinx Lulu, but I think you don't have that Viego, the comeback isn't quite as smooth.
Yeah, Viego takes your gold, takes your champion, shows you how to play it, and whips your team with it as well. So unfortunately for Maryville University, they weren't able to close out the game, but they got so incredibly close, didn't they, RMC? What went wrong? What could they have done differently to actually make this a 2-0?
The thing is, I don't even think Maryville did anything too wrong in terms of how things went. Yes, they messed up 1 or 2 team fights, but consider how long that game went. It was a 30-something minute game that felt even longer with the amount of action that was happening. I think Maryville, they just need a mental reset, go back to how they were playing in the early game, and it's just I think it's getting a little bit tiring for them to go into this 3-game series here. So if they keep playing the way they did, they are fine. If anything, I want to give huge props to 100 Thieves Knicks for as Lisa said, the mental resilience to hold out this late and then still come back in. And the question is, can 100 Thieves Knicks maintain that? Because it really takes a lot out of you to reach that point. And a lot of times when you finally win, you kind of relax. And then when you relax, that's when things kind of go wonky again.
Yeah, and sneezes for Maryville University specifically, we're currently on that 2-0. They're practicing on a different patch as well. That mental resilience is going to be super, super important for them to actually come into this game and walk away with the win. But what we saw in last game specifically is they were so good at controlling that tempo early on, and they kind of lost it maybe. What do you think they can do to keep that resilience, but also get that momentum going, hit the ground running in the final game?
I would say, they've gotten big leads in both their games. Their plan is good. Don't make adjustments. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Stick to the plan. It's working. Your players are experienced. You can close. Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make too many adjustments, honestly. I think they're playing really well, and it's unfortunate that the Jinx had some nice resets. So you just say unlucky and go next and win.
Absolutely love that. Both of you also voted for 100 Thieves to be winning at least one of these games, which means both of you get to pick a word out of the little graphic that we have thrown up. I'm going to start off with you, RMC. You get to pick the first one.
Okay. Part of me wants to just go with 100 Thieves, the same sort of idea I had with EGP there. I don't see the list, but I'm assuming 100 Thieves is on there. So
it's definitely on there.
Okay, let's roll 100 Thieves.
Sneezes, which one would you like to go for?
100 Thieves. I'm gonna go Poggers. The Jinx is Poggers.
Hey.
They crush those late game team fights, and I love to see the Dare Spirit represented. So glad they got the dub. Hopefully they can pull one out. But yeah, Poggers, nice job.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna go with Keck W for a second, just to show me.
Same. A little bit. No,
I think I opened myself up a little bit there.
Well, I guess we have the casters. They're going to be talking about sturdy action. Pyra beat down one last game, the 6th one of this evening. Guys, you're doing amazing so far. Keep killing it. Take it away.
Thank you so much, De Niro. Yeah, I think Poggers is the only way you can describe this series, because it's just like 2 games of the most ridiculous finishes, so close all the way through. Beatdown, how you holding up, man? This is a long one.
I'm doing fine, Pyro. We got some great League of Legends going on all day long. 6th, but final game of the night. I'm sad it's almost over, honestly. But let's hope that 100 Thieves Next and Maryville University, they give us a banger to close things out. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think based on what we've seen so far today, I think you are probably in the safe patch for that one. So getting into the picks and bans for this, I mean, it did feel like this series hasn't necessarily come down to what specifically has been picks. It's more like what these players are doing in these clutch moments, and I think it is a testament to both of their levels, because Maryville has definitely stepped up to the plate and very nearly had the 2-0 here, but 100 Thieves Next, as you called it, will not go quietly into the night. They are trying to keep things alive here. Neither team will be eliminated today, but the winner gets to move forward into the playoff bracket all the earlier.
Yeah, you get to play one less game. You come out of the group as first seed. A lot of benefits to winning on the night. That's why these teams are fighting tooth and nail. Both our first series where EGP won it out, and this series where the winner is yet to be determined. And I think the thing that is just most exciting about this one for me is that I think all day long, it's been consistent through both matches, all 5 games we've played so far, is that victory has largely been decided by just clutch moments. Like RMC said it on the desk referring to game 2 with Maryville. They didn't do anything too particularly bad or egregious. It's just 100 Thieves Next really stepping up, and that's what amateur is all about.
Yeah, it's a game of inches. League of Legends can be at all levels, but especially here, we are seeing just showcase of just raw talent and also really solid team coordination in those moments where the tiniest mistakes, again, it does feel weird to criticize a little bit because they're so small and they're just getting hammered home in these late game fights as well, but also some really brilliant maneuvers. I mean, I want to shout out Niles again, like setting up for the Zeri early on in this game. Azog had such an absolute like stomp fest for 90% of the game. And the few times he died, that's when things started to go south because, well, Maryville just kind of got jumped on a little bit by the resurgence. I think neither team can take this next one for granted. Whatever happens, both teams are going to be giving it their all. It means a lot, and it's so incredible to see.
It does. Yeah, and I can't wait till we get into the draft to see like what's going to change. What else are we going to see differently from this one? Maryville have chosen the blue side going into game 3, so the sides are remaining the same from the previous game, and that means that we could see similar priorities come through in the first rotation. Maybe Maryville just completely changes it up because of that loss that they ended up receiving. I'm amped, bro. I'm shaking.
Yeah. Oh, it's going. I think
it's going.
I really like the change ups on a couple of the things here today. Like we've seen, like, the Lee Sin coming in had a really big impact.
That was interesting.
Early game as well, and I think there was a little bit of a head scratch about like how much it actually would do. It was the first pick last time around. It may very well be again, but let's find out as we are into picks and bans for the 6th and final time tonight. Beatdown. Oh my goodness, we have had such an incredible day.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sad it's almost over. But one last draft, one last game before we close out our upper bracket matches here in the group stage. So now, what's the priority for Maryville? What's the B1 going to be? Are you still going to look to prioritize Lee Sin for Odd Orange? Because again, like, he played it really well. He had a lot of impact, like you pointed out. Are we going to see him go back to more what's been consistent on this patch? Things like the Wukong, things like the Viego, and all those other examples of junglers that are really strong right now.
I think if you're 100 next, you kind of have some uncertainty there, right? Because we've seen Odd Orange kind of play back-to-back different champions, different styles, and still have a really solid impact. So you have to take a wild guess if you want to try and ban him out, or just go a different direction. I mean, we see the Victor yet again. If trends hold true, we'll probably see the Gangplank getting taken off the board again on the same side for Maryville. This is pretty consistent with what they've been doing today. Both the Wukong and the Talia have been removed. No chance for Darkwings to play that one again. It was a huge impact in game number 1. And yeah, I think the Gwen respect ban is probably number 3 there.
Right, we can see the Niles again constantly getting the GP taken away from him is probably something we'll see 100 Thieves continue to prioritize again here in the first rotation. There it is. And now we'll see maybe Karma, something they go towards getting rid of. Maryville could be looking to take away that Lulu, I think. Or no, actually, it's going to end up being the same thing there, making sure Sniper doesn't end up going on that Gwen pick. And I mean, Faisal showed us a clinic last series on why that's not something you should let skilled top laners run.
Yeah, I think Sniper's Vladimir was able to do quite a lot of work to get 100 Next back into the game. But all the same, it wasn't quite the same level of explosiveness that we would expect on something like a Gwen, or even the other bans they threw his way, the likes of the Riven. The Renata ban away is the adaptation here.
That's pretty good.
Because Karma had been kind of rocking that ban column on 100 Thieves Next, but it doesn't have the same level of impact. The counter engage possibility, I think you can play with a lot more impunity here if you're 100 Next.
That's true, yeah, and I think it was a big deal there. So the Karma will go through because it is up and available. APA, we know, runs this in the mid lane, could go mid or support. A lot of options here, and not a lot of information given away despite the strong pick being taken up here. I think the big thing, though, I'm curious to see if 100 Next will go for the Lucian Nami. Okay, so we see the Lucian, because at the very least, I mean, at this point, you want to secure yourself your preferred jungle, so it makes sense. You don't need to grab that right away on the off chance that Maryville end up revealing what the support pick will actually really be. But I like that we're seeing the Xin Zhao. It's the second time we've seen it on the Dan. I think it's the second time I've seen it in these last couple of patches, because it was nerfed pretty early on into the season and for how powerful it was. But Yukino did show us, with the help of Yumi, how impactful this champion can still be, especially into the early game. And Pyra, Lee Sin, and Xin Zhao, like, are we back on 12-4? Like, what's going on?
Look, it's honestly, I really appreciate the comfort, because, like, I was coming from the PCS spring split, and I'm like, oh, I know all these champions. This is easy. But APA is going to go back onto, or APA is going to go onto the Orianna as well, so we get to see that. We do get a reveal then that the Karma is going into the support role, which is interesting early on in this rotation. And it is, I think it was fairly obvious that we'd probably see Zyko doing it, because, like, last week against Cincinnati Fear, it's all he played. He is the Enchanter support for this team. And as to be expected, we do see the Lucian Nami lane coming through for Lens and Mist. They're going to look to try and take it to Azog and Zyko in this game 3. Into ban phase 2, though. What else did they remove?
For 100X, you start targeting 80 carries, to be honest. Hasn't been picked up right now. Things like the Xayah, Ezreal are probably things you're looking at. The 80 carries with the most safety, just to make sure the all-in is that much harder to avoid here. And on the other side, you see Ahri taken away. Dark Wings, honestly, all things considered, had a really good game on the pick. You don't want to allow him to have that. Force him on another strong blind mid, because let's be real, we're probably going to blind mid and last pick top on 100 next time.
Zeri hits the ban once again. Obviously, quite a pop-off game for Azog. I think it makes a lot of sense to not give that explosive potential. Things like a Jinx could come through as well, but pairing up with the Karma, maybe we see the Xayah coming out now, but we still have one ban left before we start speculating on what the final couple of picks are going to be, Beatdown.
100%. Could just easily be another mid laner there for Dark Wings, just to make sure you limit as many of his options as you possibly can. And instead, it's going to be the Camille for Sniper, which is very interesting. Makes me wonder if Niles is going to be playing something like the Jace in that top lane, because, I mean, Faisal gave us a bit of an example of why that can maybe not go so well. So, still, I mean, it's like the Malphite are available, so maybe there's something else that Niles is going to be looking for.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Maryville strat ends up working around with. I mean, they do have the makings of a potential wombo combo ball delivery system, but I feel like I need to see more damage out of this team. And I'm really curious if Niles ends up getting put into that role. The Akali comes out here.
Okay.
Oh boy,
all right,
for
Niles.
Dark Wings. Or maybe
no,
Sniper.
that could be Sniper. That could be Sniper. Sniper plays
could be.
a buttload of Akali, and he's kind of nasty at it. And that's what makes this pick so good, because one, it's fine into the Orianna. Yeah, you're not going to get early push, but the kill threat at 6 is undeniable. And you make Maryville guess a little bit. They don't know where this Akali is going. It could go top, go mid, and that just gives that much a bit of mystery here at 100 next draft. I actually think might be more interested in seeing it go in the mid lane. Oh, we're seeing the tank come through. Okay, game 3. It's Sniper's Riven.
This series has had literally everything. I have no.
What
notes.
could you want, the viewer?
Fantastic.
Asking for more would be selfish. We're eating today, everybody.
Woo!
Woo!
100 Thieves next have said, all right, we were backed against the wall. We had to eke out that win at the very end. And we are bringing the A game up against the collegiate squad here. Riven, Akali, a Lucian Nami lane, Fnatic on a very sustain-heavy champion. Good old throwback to the spring. Maryville for themselves, it's a big old bopper of a 5v5. I cannot wait to see who takes this one, Beatdown.
Oh man, it's going to be so exciting here. You look at Maryville's side, things like Orianna, or your team fighting is always going to be phenomenal with champions like these in the mix. But when it comes to damage, really, we're looking at Azog. This is the Azog comp. Maryville, when they have him in instead of Evan RL, they play more for him. It is about the hyper carries, the damage dealers, the 2-3 items where you can go for carries. The problem is Pyra. Under next, they see that and they say, well, what if Azog died inexplicably?
You can only Featherstorm one thing. That's the problem. That's the only issue I have with
And I count, like, just one moment, please. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 things that Azog will probably have to Featherstorm. So, I mean, again, Ornn is big here for the disengage. But I think, like, 100X, especially with this bot lane, have a lot of early game prowess. And come level 6, this team is going to look nuts.
It's going to be the go button, the ultimate go button, if you will. There's a lot of versatility, 100 next. I mean, they are putting it all on the line here, especially relying on Fnatic to be much more of a tanky jungler. We have seen already today a very, very clutch Xin Zhao performance, being able to stick to people, snowballing kills. I feel like there's so many options here for 100 next. But for Maryville, they are trusting to the tried and true, the 5v5. Win by it, die by it. Whoever takes this game moves forward into the playoff bracket. Here for the Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier Summer.
Yeah, not for their tournament lives, but these teams fighting for an early entrance to the playoff stage, and a chance to come out of their group as the first seed. Still a lot on the line here between Maryville and 100 Thieves next. And I like that fun fact. Thank you, Chin. 100% win rate so far for Sniper. He's 2-0 on the Riven. This is the champ his family is known for, not just him.
You know, it's rare that we get to talk about like a legacy family of League of Legends, but Sniper
top
at
tier
such
League
a
of Legends
young
player.
age, 15 years old. He's been challenger since he was 12.
Disgusting.
Bringing the Riven out here in Game 3, all on the line. Niles has played so incredibly well, by the way, as a utility player, but he's going to have a hard time going into that 1v1.
Yeah, potentially. But I will say, you bring up a really great point. Niles, really strong on these tank picks. Has had a lot of good Ornn performances. I'm talking strong performances, even going as far back as his time on Golden Guardians Academy. This guy he plays tanks like the best of them, Pyra.
He does.
It is a good look for Maryville University. 100 Thieves next. They got a lot of aggression with their comp. Ball is in their court to make things happen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Azog and Zyko start with in this bottom lane, because, you know, this is a very aggressive, a very oppressive bot 2v2, so they're going to have to be careful not to get caught up and, you know, give Lens some of those early kills, especially pre-6.
Yeah, you already know this is an oppressive bot lane to deal with, even against something like Karma and Zaya, where you do have good range and solid poke. You're still going to get pushed in here, and that's why you see Fnatic moving his way through this bottom side of the map. And although we're used to seeing a lot of full clear junglers, Fnatic is on a champion. And to be fair, so is Orange, where you can clear 3 or 4 camps, hit level 3, and immediately show up on that side of the map for a potential gank here. And I think that's why you're seeing Fnatic path the way he is. Knows what Orange can look to do. You gotta be there for this Lucian Nami bot lane. When you pick Lucian Nami bot lane, those are the main characters, Pyra.
Yeah, and you got to be able to play that supporting role. I think it's one of the reasons why we're seeing the match pressure on those almost, I want to say, throwback junglers. It's a little bit more fair to say when it comes to Xin Zhao, because it is from an earlier part of this season, but we've still seen even earlier today how much of an impact it can have. That Crescent Guard is such a massive ultimate when placed in the right spot. Meanwhile, checking in with his top side, Niles, he is unafraid to just take it to Sniper. I love this. Key burst? Ah, that's fine. I got way too much sustain.
Love to see that. It's definitely going to get scrappy here in the 1v1, but of course, all eyes are going to be the bottom lane in this early game, particularly because, again, Lens missed the bottom lane where you need to excel in the early minutes of the game. Fnatic's here with the scuttle. Could be here to cover. Might just go back to clear zones.
Odd Orange is around too. Keep in mind on the Krug camp right now. This is a push-up for 100 next. Lens does take a bit of a poke, rather, from Zyko, and I think we're just going to get the reset. So nobody really wants to full commit for the time being.
Not quite.
Keep in mind, Zyko already burned Flash early in this game. That's something that I think happened a little bit early off screen.
Yeah. Very early on, and I think that's something to note. Is in the next few minutes, maybe not now, because Fnatic's going to go top side, get his top camp respawns, and by that I mean just his Raptors, since his Crux is up. Oh, and then he'll be able to, before that flash is up, have an opening to come bot lane.
Okay. Dark Wings taking a little bit of damage here as both junglers matching in the mid. APA playing relatively, can play relatively safe as well. One thing I do want to point out, since we kind of got right into it at the moment, it was pretty hype. Had to do a double take when I saw that first strike on the Orianna.
Oh, I mean, into the Akali. Makes perfect sense. You get that bit of extra damage. You get a lot of extra gold.
Ooh, dash the searing charge.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. A lot. I don't know what he's going to do to try and get the outplay here. They don't want to aggro it. And my goodness, he's actually even able to get the knock-up on this one and dashing and diving and dodging. Oh! He gets
Sniper!
away with it. Sniper! And now the follow-through for Fnatic. It's too free.
Sheesh! What a big play. What a 1v2 from the 15-year-old prodigy. Sniper flashes that supersonic strike, and honestly, Pyra, that made all the difference here.
What can you say but hands diff? It's not a knock. This dude's just better than everyone.
My God, just look at it. And there it is.
Oh.
So nice and clean, and the timing was perfect because Fnatic was already on his way up. Already off to a good start for 100 next. Fnatic, yeah, sure, he had the flash, but whatever.
I mean,
take those kills and he
like,
is.
that was so close in a lot of ways, but like, what an incredible outplay. And I think if you're Maryville, you have to think twice now about trying to set the play up, because yes, the Ribbon didn't get the kill, and that's maybe a relief, but you're not going to be able to set Sniper behind in the same way. I mean, there's a reason that this is kind of a pocket pick for him. Not to mention, you know, a bit of a family legacy as well.
Right, we're already seeing bits of it come out here. Now Odd Orange.
Odd Orange.
Reset. Trying to see if he can show a bot.
Okay, Mist actually takes a lot of damage and was nearly in danger of getting the tether chain. Ends up burning Flash himself, and Zyko's going to have that up a little faster. Azog already gets the heal down. So, yeah, kind of testing the waters down there in the bottom side for both these teams. Darkwings in the mid does have access to level 6 a little bit faster. APA is going to have to try and play this out very safe.
I mean, the fact that you're already starting to fall behind, Orange is feeling the pressure when you're playing Lee Sin. You want to be able to find some of these early ganks. And even though I think somebody like Xin Zhao also wants to be doing the same thing, it's kind of okay to farm a little bit until 6, because that Crescent Guard, big difference maker in these early game skirmishes, and that's what you're seeing Fnatic play towards here. And it's so perfect, because in that time, Orange hasn't been able to find any success with some of his early game plays, and that's resulting in a farm lead for Fan.
Yeah, not only that, but Fnatic's got that kill gold as well, so he's going to be even more accelerated off the back of the turnaround play up topside. And 100 Thieves next are going to be very happy with how this early game is going. 1,000 gold to lead in their favor. Orange going to not be able to find his own blue buff, so something is happening, but you cannot take it, because that is both Sniper and Fnatic.
That timing is so good, too, because APA, who already didn't have teleport, recalled, and because your top lane is pushing in, because Darkwings is still mid, there's nothing to worry about. You go ahead and steal that blue buff. That belongs to you now, Fnatic. And it means you can gift Darkwings yours. That's just top-tier jungling 101. Steal the enemy jungle buff, so your blue buff can go to your mid.
All right. Keeping an eye always on the bottom side, too. You do see that farm differential building up pretty well for Lens, but they haven't really been able to make a big play onto the bottom side. Meanwhile, up top, though, Niles, I mean, sure, he got CC'd for a minute, but he's staying alive in this. Here comes the call the Forge God. He knows he has some backup, but he might go down. Anyways, Orange was a little bit late to the party, and I think 100 Thieves next are pretty happy that they're able to get another kill, albeit onto the jungler.
See, the leads that we're seeing, oh my god, that's damage. The leads that we're seeing develop here, because of the camp stealing, because of Fnatic just finding these early advantages by constantly farming and only looking for ganks at specific timers, that sets up that play perfectly. Because even with Orange showing up, no Dragon's Rage. Fnatic's ahead in XP, has the Crescent Guard. We highlighted how important that is in these skirmishes. 100 Thieves, it's early game. It's just been so good, so clean.
Yeah, they're going to be able to open up here. Orange is still threatening to try to go for a steal. They're actually going to bring APA as well, but the turnaround immediately there, he does pull them in pretty well.
Darkwings,
though, is caught out, gets one on Orange.
And he's out
how
of
perfect
there.
can this
Never
execution be? No, I don't think so. Not this time around. Meanwhile, down bot, we did finally see a kill picked up. Azog falls to the Lucian-Nami combination.
We're still going positive, Pyra. In every part of the map, 100 Thieves, they go 1-for-1 and secure the Rift Herald. And even if Mist gets the kill, you get the kill onto Azog. And we're going to see how that goes in this replay. Like some of the poke coming through. Oh, yeah.
What
as soon
a
as he
bubble.
land the Aquapus, yeah, that's it.
I mean, Mist earned that kill. Let's be honest here.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lens, but Mist earned that kill.
Yeah, and I mean, you're happy about it, because it's time that Azog is still not in lane. You don't get the early gold. That's golden XP you're denying. It's still good. 100 Thieves next, already 9 minutes in. We're looking at 2,000 gold in their favor. Fnatic has a Rift Herald to work with, and you're seeing the gold lead develop here on this graph on the side. 3 members, the top 3 members are all from 100 Thieves. And Pyra, they are all the right people.
Yeah, they are. I think Fnatic getting the gold, I mean, it opens him up for that earlier level 6 he did have already, and it set up the play for them. So everything really is working out. Even though, like, typically you'd look at the Xin Zhao in this comp and be like, oh, that's not really who you want to be the Fed member. In this case, it really worked out because it helped snowballing the moves they wanted to make. So they've got a Rift Herald eye to crush anytime they want, anywhere they want. Maryville are going to be forced to try and pick up what they can where they can. It's going to be this dragon take here that is uncontested. So at the very least, they do get the Cloud, but it's a 10-minute. It's going to be a little bit of a later Drake timer.
Right, so you don't have very much else to play for here, and Fnatic and the rest of 100 next are going to let that one go. And it's not a big deal, all things considered. You've revealed Orange is on the bottom side of the map, and you can see it. Fnatic's pathing top. He's going for the invade right away. Is keeping track of those camps and knows that, hey, Orange, spending a little too much time bot side. That means I get some camps.
He's got a Gore Drinker at 10 minutes. Fnatic's having a game. Just going to be stealing camp after camp at this point. Should be able to set up for a dive, potentially on denials, or at least force to flash away. If he wanted to, he could look for APA as an option who does not have that summoner. And I think here we go. This is the setup. Sniper trying to get a bit of dirty farm on and get things ready to go. They are taking their time. I don't know if they really want to commit to this.
Probably not. I think you're okay backing up. Sniper's about to get his TP back. And Fnatic, He just cleaned out Odd Orange's topside jungle, man. That's so much more gold going over. Fnatic's CS lead is really starting to grow here. And I mean, going back to what we said earlier, Azog is the one we're looking for to be the difference maker in terms of DPS and overall teamfight wins. Well, Azog's not having a good laning phase right now because of this Lucian Nami pressure. The fact that Odd Orange hasn't been able to do a whole lot about it. 100 Thieves next, very well set up to succeed in Game 3.
Yeah, and this is the brilliant thing about this Lucian Nami lane, right? You don't have to necessarily get the big kills picked up, although Fnatic hopping the wall certainly was aiming for it. You just need to keep Azog down so he doesn't start popping off like he did last game.
It's even better. You keep Azog back because of the threat of the dive, but you also give Lens that extra bit of gold here from the Rift Herald charge. So he doesn't get the whole turret. Realistically, you just keep the pressure on, which is you absolutely love to see.
All right, more mythics starting to be picked up. It's double Gore Drinker here for 100 Thieves next. Sniper on the Riven. Just going to be keeping that farm advantage, looking for the opening. Has a level. There's a Searing Charge retreat from Niles, and he knows he can't go toe-to-toe right now.
No, he can't, and things have slowed down a little bit. 100 Thieves have quite the lead to speak of here. And Odd Orange is at this point where he's down a good bit of gold. He's down a good bit of XP. He's looking for whatever he can. Now that he is past level 6, has the Dragon's Rage, he's trying to make plays. He kind of has to at this point, but he just hasn't been able to find anything. And now, as a result, Sniper knows he's down there.
Even times it right. Thanks for the assist. Takes away the blue buff. What are you doing with the blue buff? You don't have mana, Riven.
Yeah, but it also gives you a little bit of ability haste.
Yeah,
so
no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so that ends up working good. Honestly, the gold and the fact that you're denying from Odd Orange is already well worth it. Ability haste, that's just gravy. And now, in a gravy, Azog is able to actually pick up a nice bit of gold. Does have that early Kraken Slayer, rushed it before boots or anything else.
Ooh,
his extra bit of turret plays is a big deal. Oh.
Maybe not. Maybe this is just a play.
This is what Niles
TP'd onto turret here. Oh boy, if they can get the kill set up, I think Lens and Mist know something is up. The question is, can they stop it? The call of the Forge God goes right through the wave, and Mist is taking low, full channel calling. Azog wants the kill, and he will claim it. You cannot deny him. And now Lens trying to 1v3, but he really shouldn't, as the double kill comes through. Azog on the board.
That's Kraken Slayer Zaya, man. I don't know if you want that, especially in the 1v3. Fnatic, though, he definitely wants that. So much so Odd Orange has to kick him away. And that's going to just be a bunch of plays. No Shelly needed for 100 Thieves to take something on the top side. And this is, again, what...
get this.
Yeah, they can. And the thing is, this is what Niles has been doing. He did it last game. You sacrifice a lot top so you can try and help the rest of your lanes get ahead. It's honestly kind of worked because Azog managed to get a double and some turret plays in that game. So this is actually a little tough now for Lens and Mist after that one, because now they have effectively lost the lead that they worked so hard to get early on. The only thing still is Fnatic's hella strong. Darkwing's level 11. Once that rocket belt comes through, or maybe it's the Riftmaker. Dark, remember what I said in draft? Hey Azog, what if you were just dead? Wouldn't that be crazy?
It's very possible. It is Riftmaker though, as we do see the
hey, that's fine
through on this one. And yeah, I think if you're 100 next, like, you're a little disappointed to see some of your work down pot undone. But at the same time, all of the tools, all the weapons to try and delete Azog off the map are there, are available. APA's been able to keep up, at least a little bit with Darkwings, but he's not really the huge threat this game. He's playing an Orianna. It's a very known quantity. Yeah. You know that the primary damage dealer is going to be this Zaya, and if you can remove her from the board, then you're feeling pretty good about your chances in any given fight.
Right, because that first dragon ended up getting taken so very lately. Oh, that's 4 people topside, or bot side.
Oh, Darkwings, you are in
trouble.
Flash,
here's Shroud.
How well are the Ninja Fingers into the Twilight Shroud? He goes, buying time for a little bit on the teleport. Here comes the Riven. Sniper looking to help make this one a 2v4.
Oh, Darkwings!
And they're doing it! That's going to be the double kill now, bringing in
they got help.
And Maryville got absolutely baited and outsmarted.
Torched in that bottom lane skirmish. Niles doesn't have the TP to match, so there isn't anything he can do. And again, 100 Thieves, they went all across the map. That's right. Second Herald on this mid-tier 1 turret. They are snowballing, so much so even Nunu and Willop would be proud. That is suddenly 3 turrets for 100 Thieves next and their first dragon.
I think I know why they're called 100 Thieves there, Beatdown, because that was straight up illegal.
Yeah, that was... Darkwing's committed some highway robbery right here, and I respect it. It says, yeah, all right. Come here, Azog, I want to talk to you. He tries his best. He ends up taking down Orange, which is really nice. And with the help of Sniper, helps for the double. And with the help of Lens, gets another double for Sniper. And you just keep winning. If you're 100 Thieves next, you can't stop.
That was incredible. This is the reason. Look at that play. Don't look at any other play this series. There have been so many incredible ones. Look at that play. That's why 100 Thieves next. We're looking like favorites in this tournament.
In Maryville, you're playing catch-up at this point. Well, you see Azog rotated top, seeing if he can get some uncontested farm. Maybe some turret damage, but Darkwings, of course, has something to say about that one. Nothing to play for in terms of objectives. You're just hovering around your 80 carry. This has been the strat for Maryville the last 2 games. Committing so much. Make sure Azog can succeed. And realistically, last game, it almost worked beautifully.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Darkwings. I mean, he's been here before, quite recently. I don't know if he can do it again. You know, teleport's going to be a little tough there. That is going to be the kickback, and I think this might be the revenge play, but I don't believe it. He's nearly gotten away. Not this time. Shut down by Orange. And meanwhile, though, they'll pay for it dearly. The push down the middle. 100 Thieves next are going to take themselves an inner turret and some change. I think with a rotate down, they can get 2.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The fact that they have to commit so much to make sure that Azog can successfully farm, be part of kills, and everything like that. And what does that lose you? So much.
Yeah, it's going to be the fight, though. Niles moving in for the team. They already have taken down the tower. Here comes
Tidal
the wave.
wave.
Just barely clips on 1. So now there's the rest of Maryville finding the 5v4, but 100 Thieves next, they've already gotten what they came for. They can walk away from this one.
That's a whole lot of gold. Of course,
Whoa.
Sniper's going to throw out the Wind Slash for good measure. The Mantra
Why
E
not?
from Karma, it's not going to do anything. They're getting out of this one as long as Fnatic. You're going to have to flash, maybe. Oh, never mind. This is
Didn't
just
have
the
to.
greatest.
Oh, wow. What a 2-step.
What a 2-step indeed, Pyra. And it's, again, it's just all 100 Thieves next. They just keep winning at every point of this early game here. 8-4. They're up 7k. They're set up really nice for this dragon. It's coming up in 2 minutes' time.
Such an incredible a shift up. In each of these games, we've had such a different vibe. And in this one, it's 100 Thieves next, just controlling it. But, you know, they've got to keep pushing forward. They've got to keep making these moves. Maryville, if they can get allowed back into this game, that could always spell trouble. We saw what happened with Azog being able to pick up a few kills down bottom. However, 100 Thieves next, they have kills, they have items onto all of their big carries. You know, we've seen a full stack here of the Mythics, including the Imperial Mandate out for Mist. Orange caught out.
Uh-oh.
Does get the kickback, but that's only a temporary inconvenience to somebody like Darkwings.
That's right. That's an ultimate used to no avail. We're at a point where you're so far ahead as 100 next. Do you just start the Baron?
I mean,
It's up in 50
no, but
seconds. You have full control.
The answer is no, but that's because it's not on the Rift yet. Yeah, you gotta wait. Those
I mean,
50
when it
seconds,
comes up. I
unfortunately.
mean, when it comes up.
Yeah, I think you do.
realistically-
I think you
Yeah.
bait it. You can turn this fight so easily. You have so many tools. And you don't worry about that Renata Glass ultimate anymore because you banned it this game.
Yeah, and that's the big thing I think that's had an impact there. 100 Thieves next, unencumbered, jumping into these team fights, using all the engage they have. And we saw what difference it can make. And there is no Renata Glass to slow things down. You can see it. Leads all over the map. Maryville, you need one big team fight. Your best bet is if 100 Thieves start a 20-minute Baron, and Maryville can actually sneak in a good team fight off a good or an ulti from Niles. Talked about how good he is on these tank engaged champions. He could very well show it to us here and now.
Okay, Sniper. Okay, Riven is a very fast champion that can
Very cool.
spam a lot of buttons, and one of them is a dash, so you're fine. Bit of a wild
Sort of
goose chase
cute.
there.
It's kind of a
Yeah,
dash.
that's also true. Riven is a very mobile champion.
Yeah, she's fun to watch. Not fun to play against.
No, definitely not. But you know what? I won't trade positions with Niles on this one. 20 minutes hit the clock right now. Baron is available, but of course, in 30 seconds, there will also be a Infernal Dragon. And keep in mind, we haven't talked about dragons much this game, but it is an Infernal Rift. It's another massive one if we get to Soul Point. That's a ways away, obviously, but it's certainly got to be in the back of these players' minds.
And one thing that's kind of minor, but kind of unlucky still for Maryville, is that on an Infernal Rift, a lot of brushes are gone. So it makes it a little harder for Maryville to try and set up some of these bush plays because you have less places that you can actually play from. And when you're this far behind, these are things that teams tend to lean on. Try and make the potential comeback. Of course, keep this in mind. Maryville wisely just trading on the other side of the map while they know Dragon is certainly being taken.
I mean, this is brilliant right now because Fnatic can solo this at the moment. You can still muscle in as 100 Thieves Next because you have such a huge lead and set up control over the Baron pits. You lose really nothing. Like, yeah, that tower gets taken, but, you know, it was kind of gone already. As long as Sniper gets away, this is totally worth it.
Oh, the ghost?
He honestly didn't even need to really be here, but yeah, I think he might be dead this time. I mean, he's so mobile. Oh, no.
No shot. He's out?
He can't catch the ribbon.
Oh, and it's even worse
Move
because
over
Baron...
Italy.
But look, Baron's being done right now. The damage isn't quite there, though. Darkwings is playing interference, but instead, they're just going to full send for the fight.
Yeah, I think so. Lens a little bit low, though. I don't think you want to full commit to this one at the moment. And Sniper's kind of right back on it. He didn't actually heal, but he knows that nobody's at home at the moment, so he can just keep this wave push. And this is putting Maryville in such a tough spot because they're in a bit of a pickle.
Just getting yanked left, right, and center all across the map, constantly forced to respond and not allowed in any way because of this deficit to be proactive. They're trying their best, trying to make big stack plays, but we keep seeing what that does. Could work. This is a risk. You threaten to there's a chance you lose so much more on other parts of the map here, and with that dragon secured, with 100 Thieves Next as strong as they are, a full 5 Baron push could be it, especially if Niles, who just used TP not 30 seconds ago, shows up to that bottom side.
Yeah, you have to be so careful about where you allocate your resources. You can see APA is actually going to be the one that they're sending down there. And now 100 Thieves Next, you know, with the information they have, they should be able to make moves. Sniper, again, dodging out the damage. It's just not even close.
Oh, damn, dude.
He's so speedy. And he's got TP, too. Keep that in mind. He can just run all over the rift.
Yeah, it's been unreal. Now,
Lens shows.
Looking for your first turret, or your second turret, rather. It's Maryville. 100 Thieves picked up 5 this entire game. And the big thing I think you have to lead...
more here on the bot.
Yeah, probably. It is nice because that's an objective bounty as well. It's a little bit of catch-up gold there for Maryville. And I think the thing to take away as well, or the thing to look for in these team fights, is kind of like in Game 1, Maryville have a pretty good team fighting composition. Orianna Ornn, it's one of the safest team fighting comps there is. And so the fact is, if you get a good knockup, you get a good shockwave, or even on a separate point, if Orange can isolate and kick somebody, pretty good luck.
Oh, I think Darkwings is pushing his luck a little bit here. Goes in for the perfect execution, but it's not perfect enough. The 1v4 and no help was coming this time. That is sorely needed for Maryville here, as they will be able to get some momentum.
Right. It's not quite enough to start the Baron. This is enough to give them a little pressure to keep pushing this top wave, as you can see Azog there on the minimap. And also a chance to secure Scuttle. Get a little bit of vision. Not a lot, just a little. You know, whatever you're allowed to get.
100 Next want to force something on this, or at least stop the backs right now. They know APA's not around. This is a 4v4 until he burns the TP. Wards down, call the Forge God. They're going to actually pull the trigger on this one. Here it goes with a knockup. This is still a 4v4 if they can delete someone before it happens. What a big old wind slash there, and of course Fnatic comes in to make that crescent guard play.
Big wipe.
And they are going for the full wipe here. APA limping away. The teleport's already in mid, and 100 Thieves Next can see the win in their eyes.
Oh my god, Pyro, what a strong, dominating Game 3 from 100 Thieves Next. It's not enough to end the game, but I'll tell you what, it's enough to secure yourselves a Baron. It's like you said, you commit so many people to the side. You saw Azog pushing top, so you know, all right, they got to try it back in this push. Guess what? We're not going to let them do it, and at this point, 100 Next, slap them with their wallet. The gold lead they have, this moment, you can't win team fight.
Yeah, Shockwave, it looked nice. It was about as nice as you could do, but it came about 4 seconds too late and about an item and a half too down. Lens doesn't even die in this one. It was such a brilliant move. Fnatic gets right in the middle and just sets up that ultimate. This is why we're seeing the Xin Zhao start to come back a little bit. Baron secured for all 5 members. Everything's coming together here, beatdown for 100 Thieves Next, from a Game 1 heartbreaker of a loss to a backdoor. They now have gone to Game 3, and we have not had a moment of calm.
And I gotta say, too, we gotta also talk about the Game 2, where it looked like it was all but said and done for 100 Thieves. I personally wrote off that game, and 100 Thieves Next surprised me. So clawing their way back in from what looked like an impossible situation, leading into the tie-breaking game in the series, where they are stomping Maryville University. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, Absolutely. This series has had literally everything, like back and forth, close games, one-sided games that became close games. Darkwing's overextending a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to matter because the rest of the team is coming. And I think we've got ourselves another bait here. Call the Forge got dodged out, and they realize they've been had. Here comes the wave, and I think it might be time to wave goodbye. Zyko running for the hills the opposite direction. They don't even care about him right now because they know they can clean him up.
Darkwings
looking to get over. That's a perfect execution from downtown. In comes Darkwings. Sniper's the one who claims the kill.
That's the series.
And it's
I think that's the
Niles
series.
running for the hills here. They've got nothing left in the tank.
Not a single thing. You have Azog, who wasn't even here to begin with. He's backing to see if he can save the base that surely will become shambles. But with Baron buff in tow, with all 5 members nice and healthy, surely 100 Next are looking to close things here and now.
27 minutes apparently is all it takes here as they're going for the final fight. Niles is doing his best, but the Ornn just doesn't output the damage. Azog will fall. Zyko comes off cooldown just in time to see himself destroyed, and the hopes for Maryville dashed one. Final Nexus turret goes down, and 100 Thieves come back from a Game 1 face race to take the series.
And an insane performance from one of the best teams Amateur has ever known, Pyra. They are your first seeds going into playoffs out of Group A. What a stellar performance in Game 3.
Oh, yeah, and I think we might have expected the result coming into today, but we certainly could not have predicted the winding road it could have gone. I mean, massive ups to Maryville, not just for that Game 1, but for nearly taking it 2-0. This has got to be the most back-and-forth heart-stopper that I've ever seen in Amateur, and honestly, in League of Legends in general, this one ranks up there.
It's both series, too. Like, what an incredible performance all 4 teams have put on the night. But of course, only one team can win any given series, and this one is 100 Next. For really, I think, really stepping it up, not just in Game 3, where they hard stopped, let's be real, but in Game 2, when you are far behind, when you are in the dirt, in the gutter, keeping that mental strong, keeping that discipline going, where you're always thinking, how do we win? It's like, it's always winnable. And they managed to make it happen.
Yeah, I think always keeping your mental strong and saying there's always a chance to come back into this. And that's the difference between good teams and great teams. And 100 Next proved today that they have the tenacity to be a great team, and they brought out the weapons. They came out swinging. Sure, was it perfect? Did it have no mistakes? No, but it didn't matter because they were able to overcome over and over and over again, and they trusted to their skills. Darkwing's incredible performance on this Akali. We saw the Riven come out for Sniper and just absolutely roll over people, deny so many of his own deaths just on the back of incredible like two-stepping. I think that dive up top that Maryville tried to get onto him early on in this game, I think that's really what set the tone for this final game. And Maryville proved, I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, despite how stretched they are right now playing in both this tournament and in CLOL, they are very much a top squad, and they very nearly took out arguably the tournament favorites here. But at the end of the day, 100 Thieves Next were able to pull out the win in the comeback on the 2-1.
Right, and I mean, they're getting the rematch against Cincinnati Fear next week because they lost this series. They beat them before, likely especially with what we've seen today and what we know from this Maryville squad, it's almost certain that they're the ones we're expecting to still make it out of this group. Maybe we'll see another rematch between these two titans of Amateur, because it's been great watching them play each other so far.
It really has. I mean, you talked about the bangers of the series we've had. It was so incredible today, and that is going to be it for us. We've got an interview coming up next, but before that, a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the final interview of today. We got Mist with us. Congratulations on the win. You guys are undefeated so far. How does it feel?
I actually feel great. I didn't play competitive so long, so it's kind of a rusty for me to come back. We only get like a couple scrims to find out I'm finally to be playing, so we only have like 2 scrims play with me.
No, you guys played amazing as a team. And the second game specifically, it was looking really scary. And then you gained momentum in like the last couple of minutes. How did you do that?
I told my team that we win with 3 items, so we're just scouting and we'll catch them off guard. Then we just win like 2 team fight and we just end the game.
Yeah, the items on Jinx and on Vladimir just going strong. But you guys in the last game, however, played a lot more aggressive. So the first game, it was a bit more passive. Same with the second game, you just waited and skilled. But then the last game, it was so aggressive from the beginning. What changed?
I think we kind of a little bit tired on the first game since we didn't never play at this timer. So it's kind of late for us. And so game 3, we just pop all energy drinks, I guess. Then we just game 3, you know, we need to do something
Yes.
for energy.
Well, you guys made it happen. But also for the last game, you had a Riven and a Kali coming through. What was the idea for the draft?
They just yelling for their champion, actually. I was asking, what do you want? Darker said, I want a Akali, and then Sniper said he wanted a Riven. So we just decided to do those champions.
And just let them play the champions that they're comfortable with, and they returned in your good favor. But also the fact that you guys are playing for 3 games, and also as you said yourself, it is really late. How do you keep the mental in check for everybody in the team so that you guys don't tilt?
I think generally we're pretty chill vibe. Like we're not tilt at all. Even in scrims, we're just happy and like talk shit to each other. You know, just be like chilling. Not tilted at all. It's definitely some frustrating timers, but I think we're pretty chill at the team, and every player are chill too.
Yeah, definitely can tell by the communication as well. You guys really held on to it. We were a little worried as we were into that 3rd game, but you guys did really well. Before we close out the interview, however, I do want to ask if you have any shout-outs that you want to share.
I shout out all my team, all my players. Shout out to my boys word. Shout out to all the 100C staff that they support us. I think shout out to my mom too. She really supported me to go in this way.
Yeah. Okay, that is so incredibly wholesome. Thank you so much, and enjoy your celebration. And once again, congratulations, guys. Have a good rest of the day or evening, wherever you are.
Thank you.
Another wholesome interview. That was so lovely. Shout out to my mom. Parents supporting their children in esports. That is the dream come true. But we still have to explain how 100x made their dream come true with this game specifically, because that last game, RMC and Sneezes, that draft, we saw the Riven. RMC, you yourself spoke about how good Sniper is on the Riven, but did you expect it to work out the way it did?
Kind of, actually. I mean, that was why we saw the draft and we're like, okay, 100 Thieves Knicks, you know, they're taking off the gloves. They apparently knocked back those energy drinks and they're coming in comfort, right? And they when you pick a draft like that, you have to win lane. And we've seen Sniper do it before. Yeah. I'm personally not a fan of Riven into Ornn as a matchup, but when I see Sniper pick that in a critical game 3, I have trust that, hey, the player knows what they're doing.
And from my point, I thought it was really nice in the interview that misconfirmed the theory that we had backstage that that's a player draft. That's what players want to play. And, you know, Darkwings and Sniper showing up huge on their comfort picks. You know, to me, that's what the series was about. It was really about players getting their comfort. The teams that won got their comfort picks. And, you know, the meta is one thing, but, you know, comfort greater than the meta this series.
Yeah, and let's have a look back specifically at some of the replays from this match, just to refresh our memories of what we saw, because it's been a long day. We've seen a lot of League of Legends, and let's start off with the dive bot lane, specifically RMC. It was a 2v4. It was Darkwings and Sniper. What happened?
I mean, this is just what happens when skilled mechanical players get their hands on comfort picks, right? It is worth noting as well that there was a lot of time on this particular play to come through, and unfortunately they didn't quite actually get to mark Akali early on, so they couldn't see her in the shroud for a lot of this play, and it bought so much time for the 2 most fed members of the team, Darkwings and Sniper, to then show up. And sure, it looks amazing that it's a 2v4, but let's also keep in mind that before this 100 Thieves Knicks were already up significant amounts of gold here, and they have a lot of damage that you're trying to turret die. So it really didn't work out. And to me, this kind of encapsulated the entire game, right? Just better hands with a gold lead, with a team that is confident and knows how to push that lead.
Well, they pushed it indeed, and we even see how comfortable this team is at pushing that boundaries in the second replay Sneezes, where Sniper just waits, is going for the bait, and eventually they turn around the 4v5.
Yeah, Sniper did a really great job executing on the Riven flank angle, and the Nami to disengage here was really valuable. We'll see this develop in a second. So they're kind of corralled. We saw a corral in the first series as well, but this one was a little more decisive. So Sniper baits, they know they have to take this fight. They have numbers advantages. This is like their only shot at an even fight, and Sniper just pretty much outplays everyone, and the gold lead shows up here in a big way. They just get to free hit and front line, front to back in a comp that doesn't necessarily want to, but money greater than play style at this point. It was just really well done.
We spoke about it the first game. Actually, it was better than 500 CS, and that was the Frozen Heart. However, this time around, money better than playstyle. It's something that just keeps showing up time and time again. But these teams have done so well today. I don't want to take anything away from Maryville University either. They really, really gave 100x a run for their money. They push them to the limits. We're going all the way to game number 3, and it was not easy. It was a very, very close 2-0, and they just played that miraculously. I think once you get into that third game, RMC for players especially as well, it's a bit more difficult to stay very grounded. It's always like, oh, it's the third game. It's, we just heard Miss say it himself as well. Like, it's very late for all of these players. How do you think or what do you think Maryville University specifically can do to stay in that correct headspace, or any team really? Because again, this is something that they're not the only ones that are going to be facing it.
Yeah, and like we heard Miss say, they took energy drinks on their side, to keep the energy high. It's late for them. To a certain degree, I think Maryville actually has it worse because believe they just flew in yesterday to LA, so they're dealing with potential time difference. And again, it's late, right? Like, this is the second series of the night. We're tired, for goodness sakes, much as the players who are playing through a very high tension best of 3 there. So I think for Maryville, the problem is that they're weighing their odds as well, right? We touched on the fact that they're playing the CLOL. They can't exhaust themselves here and then die, playing CLOL on Thursday as well. So there's that bit of a trade-off here. And I do think that they did incredibly well, considering the situation there. I don't know if things would have been different in game 3 if they were willing to kind of just throw it all away for that game 3. But like, Pyra and Beatdown were saying, they're not out of this. They just didn't punch the playoff ticket. They still have that one more game next week as well. So I think Maryville will do just fine. If they play like they did today, it's going to be really rough for Cincinnati here. I love the team. They have a proven track record in PGCQ Spring, but Maryville Summer is looking like a whole different beast.
Yeah, Maryville is absolutely smashing it. Sneezes, can you maybe pick out a highlight or two from their performance so far this evening?
Yeah, I mean, when we came in today, we thought it was going to be the APA show, but Azog showed up in a really big way. He had consistently outlaned his opponent in at least 2 of the games, and they played around him really well. He developed a gold lead and really did a lot of damage for his team. Also, shout out to Niles. He really weak side kinged this series. I think it was it's a role that is really difficult for top players, especially in this meta, to do. So I think both those players really showed up today, and they easily could have walked away here with the 2-0. So
yeah, and I just want to follow up on that, Sneezes. Like, you've been preaching all night comfort, right? And that gold doesn't always equate victory. It's play style as well. And I think Niles, of all players tonight, really embodied that, right? He was down 100 gold, 100 CS, I think, in every single game, and yet he had huge impact, in game 1, even in game 2 on the Camille as well, constantly going down, helping Azog, helping Zyko there get those leads in that bot lane. And I think Niles showing a very different style, and more importantly, showing that it's very viable to sack that top lane gold in a meta where it feels like top lane is an island, and oftentimes the winner of that just has bigger impact. Now says that's not true.
Yeah, and also something that we can talk about is, and what is not true, is the fact that the casters were wrong. Because actually, every single person went for 100 Thieves, and that's exactly what happened. Which means that 100% win rate, I guess, for Talent today, which is a W for us on this side of things. Desk predictions as well. Every single one of us went for 100 Thieves, and that means that both of you get to choose one word each for that final tweet. These are going to be the final 2 words. Pick them wisely. Think about it. I'm going to start off with you, Sneezes. Which one do you want to go for?
Sure. I'm going to go with I'm I'm going to go with Casters. I think Casters did an amazing job this series. It was a really long series. It was a long day. And, you know, I really got a huge appreciation for all the work that was done on the broadcast, you know, coming in here for the first time. So just, you know, wanted to share the love a little bit. You guys are amazing.
Well, RMC, which word will you going to be going for?
You know what? Let's round it out along with the casters. Let's go with analysts as well.
Hey.
If there's production staff, I'd go with that. You know, just everybody tonight here.
Everybody here did incredible. So before we close this out, Sneezes, I want to ask you the question. If you have any final words that you would like to share with us here today.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Play comfort. And yeah, see you guys next OQ, hopefully. Hopefully not on the desk.
Well, RMC, any final words from yourself?
I'm glad, you know, the people that came on. Huge props to Sneezes for coming on. You're here for the t-shirt. Unfortunately, we don't have a t-shirt for you. And for Fairy Girl, who came on early as well. She was a absolute great guest. Great games. Thanks for having us on. And yeah, you know, more games upcoming. So stay around for those.
More games upcoming indeed, but some sad news that we're gonna have to break to you is that we said goodbye to DK Crew. They do, however, have a video, but before we play it, I want to say thank you so much to production for making this possible. Thank you to Twitch chat for being here. Thank you both RMC, Sneezes, for being on the desk with me. It was an absolute pleasure, and also Fairy Girl, she was an absolute pleasure to have on the desk. Thank you to our sponsors for making this possible as well. We wouldn't be here without them. Thank you, HyperX, Atlantic, and Zoe. But before we close this out, we're going to be saying goodnight to you guys, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. We still got one rap video that you're going to have to watch because it's a banger.